I'm looking for you. I'm looking for you. You there, Brother Darkness? He did warn us. It's his day. First takes in the house. Let's roll.
It's the Miami Heat, the Boston Celtics. And away we go.
Lob pass and the stop by Bam Adebayo.
Oh my goodness, Bam Bam.
Throws it up and scores off glass plus a foul. Miami starting to blow it open. Pulls up for three in transition. It's good.
The Miami Heat are trying to send a very clear message.
Miami is absolutely taking the heart of the Boston Celtics.
One win away for the Miami Heat from the NBA Finals.
Oh, should we break out the brooms? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to First Take. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. Thank you for being with us. That is Stephen A. Smith, Kendrick Perkins. I'm Molly Karam. Gentlemen, how we feeling? How we living this morning?
Well, I hope y'all had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I did. I mean, the Lakers kind of, got exposed to some degree. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But as if you remember that movie, The Campaign, with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis, remember that? And he was like this, I'm bringing my brooms because it's a mess. That's what's going on in the world of basketball right now on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord.
All right, let's get it, guys. Hot mess that is. So as the 8th-seeded Heat continue their historic run through the Eastern Conference postseason, a stretch that is now just one game away from another NBA Finals appearance, Eric Spoelstra's team embarrassed the number 1 seed Celtics 128-102 Game 3 Sunday night. They did so by relying on a host of younger players who continue to embrace the moment. As for the Celtics superstars, a whole lot of chirping. Jason Tatum, is all that criticism getting to you?
I deleted Twitter from my phone to start the playoffs, so honestly, I haven't seen anything good, bad, or indifferent, since Game 1 against the Hawks. So, I'm certain after every game you win, you're the best player and the best team, and when you lose, you're not the star, and the team's not good enough. So. I'm certain there'll be some of that, but, out of sight, out of mind.
Obvious letdown. I feel like we let our fan base, organization down, we let ourselves down, and it was collective. We can point fingers, but in reality, it was just embarrassing.
I just didn't have him ready to play. I should have, whatever it was, whether it was the starting lineup, whether it was an adjustment, I have to get them in a better place, ready to play, and that's on me.
So why did the Celtics get destroyed last night, you ask? Look no further than their 2 All-NBA stars in Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who just couldn't make shots. Meanwhile, undrafted guard Gabe Vincent outscored them both 29-26. Kendrick, obviously you played for this franchise, won a championship with them in Boston. I'm curious, who looks worse to you now? Is it the coach and Joe Mazzulla, or in the stars and Tatum and Brown?
Oh, Molly, it's definitely Joe Mazzulla. And for him to go up there in his post-game interview and say, I didn't have those guys ready, I got to figure it out, well, that's a damn shame. And I knew that he made the wrong choice when we got the report before the game started, that he was starting Derek White and bringing Robert Williams off the bench. That is a huge problem to me. Your best player in Jason Tatum has come out time and time again publicly telling you, if we're going to win a championship, this is the most important piece of this team outside of me and Jaylen Brown is Robert Williams. But you keep on harping on starting a 36-year-old Al Horford because all you want to do is worry about the offensive end and stretching the floor and having guys play AAU-style basketball so that way y'all can live by the 3 and die by the 3. No, you supposed to start Robert Williams. He does so much for you on both ends of the floor. We already know what he's going to bring defensively. Elite shot blocking, being able to guard the pick and roll, being able to get out there and switch out on guards and wings if he have to. Offensively, when Jason Tatum had 51 in Game 7, a lot of that came off the back of Robert Williams. because he's so much of a dynamic roller, because he's a lob threat at the basket and guys have to pay attention to him, because he plays the dunker spot so well, it allows those guys to be able to operate and be the best version of themselves. So I'm looking at Joe Mazzulla and I'm sitting up here saying, well, damn, the Celtics' identity all last year was defense. But you made an adjustment to go offensively by inserting Derek White and putting Robert Williams on the bench. So I'm looking at Joe Mazzulla on this one.
Got to disagree with you there. I'm not disagreeing with your points about Joe Mazzulla, and it is a problem, and it is something that we will get into as this show progresses today, Kendrick Perkins, and I hope you had a nice weekend, by the way, my brother. But I got to tell you something right now. I sincerely doubt that you had a nice weekend after watching that atrocity last night because you are a prideful champion representing the Boston Celtics franchise, even though obviously you're an analyst for this network. And there's no way in hell you could tell me that you got any enjoyment, even though you did forewarn all of us, that especially me, that Boston did not want to see Miami. I don't give a damn what you say. You didn't expect this. Not what we saw. I would remind you that last night as we watched Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, we watched Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown combine to shoot 12 of 35 from the field, 1 of 14 from three-point range, 6 turnovers, okay, in that process, more turnovers than assists. In this series, they're shooting 7 for 40 from three-point range, the two of them. 7 for 40. That is 17%. And they have more turnovers than assists. That is atrocious. And I love me some Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And I believe both are stars. And it's hard to imagine how you can transfer from dropping 51 in a closeout Game 7 against the Philadelphia 76ers to this mess that we've witnessed in this series. It's an indictment against the Philadelphia 76ers, no doubt about it. It's an indictment against Embiid and Harden, okay, which is something we'll get into another time. But it is now, you look at giving credit to the Miami Heat, and of course they deserve it. But on their worst day, meaning Boston's worst day, I never expected this for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to look helpless. We haven't seen that. We've seen them defeated. We've seen them beat. We haven't seen them look helpless. And more importantly, I don't think there has ever been a time where I've seen the Boston Celtics and I felt they got their hearts snatched out their chest. The only thing that I can think of in my years of watching the NBA where I've seen something tantamount to this. If you remember, Kendrick Perkins, I think it was 2000. I'm trying to remember which year it was. But the Lakers ran the San Antonio Spurs out of California.
Laid it down like a fresh set of dominoes. And as a country boy,
I like that one.
I had to say, you go, girl. You go, girl, because that's exactly what they did. But S.A., it's hard, Molly, for me to blame Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown because as you get deep into the rounds, coaching gets better. And what we're watching, even when you look at the Nuggets in their player movement, in their ball movement, in the way that they're handling the Lakers right now and how difficult every shot is for the Lakers. Look at the Heat. Look at the player movement. Look at the multiple actions. Look at Duncan Robinson setting back picks and then coming off a pin down off the opposite side. When you look at the Celtics, it's the same style. Here, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, go isolation. You can't do that against this Heat team. They're number 1 in the league in taking charges. And when you talk about boxes and elbows, it is 0 driving gaps for those guys. So at some point, Mazzulla,